Today we will have gynec lecture. Today's topic is genital fistula. In gynec we had studied different terms related to menstrual disorders and structural deformities like fibroid, endometriosis and other things. But fistula is a disease, or this is a disorder. Usually it is anatomical disease. We can call it as a localized disease or anatomical disease. Usually it is seen congenitally or it is acquired. Congenitally means it is present from birth, and acquired means it is developed due to some reason. So first of all we will see what is fistula. So in gynec we have genital fistula. In that, first one is first of all, fistula. What is fistula? Fistula is an abnormal communication between two or more epithelial surfaces. That means it is abnormal opening between any two organs. That is called as fistula. So this is an abnormal opening between two organs. So definition is, it is an abnormal communication between two or more epithelial surfaces. So this is abnormal opening. See now, particular organ like uterus, cervix, vagina, bladder, rectum, all these genital organs as well as pelvic organs are located in pelvic cavity, but they are separate from each other by mucosal layer, by epithelial layer or by muscular layer. But these organs are separate, they are not mixed with each other. Uterus is not mixed with abdominal cavity. Vagina is not mixed with bladder or urethra. So each organ is separate. Each organ has its particular walls. So everyone is different from each other. But when there is development of fistula, these two organs are open with each other. There is abnormal opening between two organs. That is called as fistula. So this is abnormal opening between two organs, or abnormal communication between two surfaces or two organs. So now we will have types of fistula. That first and important is rectovaginal fistula. Now rectovaginal fistula, it is as by name we can understand, it is abnormal opening between rectum and vagina. So there is abnormal opening in between rectum and vagina. Rectum is situated posteriorly and vagina is anteriorly, but it is abnormal opening in between rectum and vagina. So it is rectovaginal fistula. Now causes for this rectovaginal fistula are congenital and acquired. As we had discussed earlier also, either fistula should be congenital or it should be acquired. So causes are congenital and acquired. Congenital we can understand, it is the abnormality or abnormal development in that baby where there is abnormal opening in between these two organs. So it is congenital. There are no particular reason for congenital fistula. It is the developmental anomaly or developmental disease. So that is congenital rectovaginal fistula. When it is acquired rectovaginal fistula, we have some causes for that. So acquired rectovaginal fistula. Now causes for acquired rectovaginal fistula are usually it is developed after delivery or after labor. So important cause is obstetrical cause related to labor, delivery or surgical procedure related to that. So main cause is obstetrical cause. So first of all, common cause, obstetrical causes we will discuss. In that, improper technique during labor, improper handling during second stage or third stage of labor. There is improper timing of delivery. So in general, improper handling during labor, that leads to abnormal opening between this rectum and vagina. Also during episiotomy, we will come across this term, episiotomy. This is the increase in the size of pelvic cavity during delivery. We do a minor surgical procedure during normal delivery, that is called as episiotomy. So improper surgical procedure or improper suturing, improper sectioning during episiotomy, all these things lead to rectovaginal fistula. So these are obstetrical causes during normal delivery. Obstetrical causes after surgical procedure like cesarean section. If normal labor is not possible, there are different reasons for cesarean section. Indication of cesarean like large baby, twin baby, hydramniosis or any high risk factor related to mother or baby. at that point we advise for cesarean. So after cesarean section, there can be development of fistula or abnormal opening between this rectum and vagina. So that can be also a cause for rectovaginal fistula. These are obstetrical causes. Now gynecological causes are mainly trauma, injury during any gynec procedure, examination, or any gynecological laparoscopic surgery or anything. So that can also lead to fistula formation. Then malignancies, large tumors or any malignancy in the pelvic cavity or abdominal cavity, that can lead to abnormal opening between these two organs. So these are the main causes. So important cause for acquired is after delivery or after surgical procedure related to delivery. That is the cause for fistula. See, in normal situation there cannot be an opening between this rectum and vagina unless and until we do some section or we do some minor or major surgical procedure. There cannot be an opening. So after delivery or after labor, after cesarean section or after any gynec procedure, or rarely it is seen along with tumor, malignancy, cancerous growth or anything. So that can be the cause for rectovaginal fistula. So it is gynecological and obstetrical. Congenital and acquired. Congenital present from birth, developmental defect. Acquired mainly related to obstetrical reason. Some reasons are related to gynec also. So these are the causes for rectovaginal fistula. Now clinical features, what patient will complain? Patient will complain mainly as it is related with rectum and vagina. So we can understand there is abnormal opening from rectum to vagina. So usually all the discharges, secretions from rectum usually passes through vagina. So patient will complain of involuntary passage of letters or involuntary passage of stool particles from vagina. So that is the main complaint from patient. There is involuntary passage of stool or letters from vagina. This is the main complaint. Sometimes patient may have infection because of passage of the stool and all from vagina. Patient have infective changes, like patient have fever, pain, offensive discharge. All these things can be associated with rectovaginal fistula. Main complaint is passage of letters and stool particle from vagina. Now on examination, general signs are usually normal. Patient is perfectly okay. Physical signs are all normal. BP, pulse and other things are normal. Sometimes there may be increase in temperature if there is infection. All otherwise general things are normal. For abdomen also there is normal, nothing abnormal can be palpable as such. So for abdomen normal. PSPV examination. Usually in PS examination also we can see the abnormal opening, and PR examination, per rectal examination, this is the important thing. And while doing this per rectum examination we can understand that there is abnormal opening in between this rectum and vagina. So PR examination is very important. Proctoscopy we do during this examination, and by this we can see the abnormal opening. So investigation is also proctoscopy or PR examination. That is the investigative part also, because that confirms, so we can see the opening between the rectum and vagina. So these are the clinical features and investigation. And now for treatment part, as this is a surgical procedure, because this is an abnormal opening which is seen in between two organs, we cannot give some medicine or we cannot give some injectable and we cannot remove this opening. So we have to do some surgical procedure to remove this opening or to close this opening. So usually treatment is preventive as well as surgical. Preventive, that is the proper technique of delivery, proper timing of delivery, proper handling during stages of delivery, as well as during surgical procedure. That comes in preventive part. And surgical part is, there is repair. Surgery is usually indicated. That is, in that surgery usually repair by flap method. That is called as repairing by flap method. There are different flaps are taken and they are sutured together so that this opening can be closed. So repairing by flap method. Usually this technique is advised for rectovaginal fistula. And by closing this opening, patient can be discharged after 5 to 6 days, and then complaints are usually subsides. That is first fistula, that is rectovaginal fistula. That is the important fistula and common fistula we see usually. Now other fistulas are commonly Vesico-vaginal fistula. This is also a common. This is also some common type of fistula. Vesico-vaginal fistula. Now, vesico-vaginal fistula, again we can understand that vesico-vaginal, that means abnormal opening in between bladder and vagina. Vesico, bladder, vagina, abnormal opening between vesicle, bladder, urinary bladder and vagina. So that is vesico-vaginal fistula. This is an abnormal communication or abnormal opening between bladder and vagina. This is the common type of fistula, urinary fistula we called it as, and it is very commonly seen. Now causes are again same, congenital and acquired. Congenital usually it is present from birth. Acquired, as we had seen, same reasons, obstetrical and gynecological reasons. Obstetrical usually related with labor, procedures during labor, improper handling during labor, improper timing of labor, and all the labor disorders or improper technique of delivery, normal delivery, and sometimes after cesarean. Complication of cesarean. Fistula is the common complication after cesarean section, C-section. It's obstetrical. Gynec, as we had discussed, malignancies, large malignancies, tumors, cancers, inflammatory diseases, and laparoscopic procedures, gynec procedures, investigative procedures, all that can lead to vesico-vaginal fistula. So causes are same as we had seen in recto-vaginal fistula. Only thing is that there is difference between clinical features. In clinical features, in recto-vaginal fistula, patient will complain of passage of flatus or passage of stool particles from vagina. In vesico-vaginal fistula, she will complain of passage of urinary drops or passage of urine from vagina. This is the only difference in between recto-vaginal fistula and vesico-vaginal fistula. So again, by passing this urine drops, patient may develop infection. So she may have fever, chill, discharge. Clinical features are along with that. Patient important clinical feature or symptom is passage of urine or drops of urine from vagina, involuntary passage of drops of urine. And if infection, patient may have fever, chills, pain, nausea, vomiting. General signs are usually normal. Per abdomen also normal. PSPV examination exactly we cannot see because bladder is situated anteriorly. So we cannot see this abnormal opening on this examination. Even PR examination is not confirmative for this. So we have to do sonography for that, ultrasonography. So these are the important things related to vesico-vaginal fistula. Now a treatment part, as we had seen, we have to do surgical procedure. So in vesico-vaginal fistula, treatment is flap method, surgical treatment. Usually it is treated by taking different flaps. The surgeries are named, different names are given for this surgery, but for detail we have to refer the book, textbook. All the names and procedures are given because actually it is not covered or it is not expected in our syllabus. So it is only expected that fistula treatment is surgical treatment and flap method or flap technique is advised for fistula. So that was vesico-vaginal fistula, normal opening between bladder and vagina, causes congenital acquired, congenital present from birth, acquired after gynec and ops. Ops is related with delivery, cesarean. Gynec is by gynecological procedures, laparoscopy, etc. and malignancies, infections, all these are gynec related reasons. Clinical features are patient will have this passage of urine from vagina, that is the important complaint, and investigation is usually PSPV examination we cannot confirm the fistula, but there are different tests for this confirmation. Actually there is a dye test, colored dye is passed from bladder and it comes, the dye comes from vagina. When it is passed by bladder syringe, we pass this dye in bladder, and if there is fistula, this dye will come from vagina. It is dye method. Also it is C for air bubble also, that is the test which is called as EUA. So these are the tests we can do clinically and we can confirm that there is fistula, because it is not exactly confirmatory seen by PSPV examination. So we have to do dye test and we have to do EUA. These are the techniques for vesicovaginal fistula. So that was vesicovaginal fistula. Treatment we had seen surgical treatment, preventive and surgical treatment. Now next type of fistula is urethrovaginal fistula. Urethrovaginal fistula, it is the abnormal opening between urethra and vagina. Again it is same, congenital acquired causes, congenital present from birth, acquired gynec and obs causes, obstetrical related to delivery and gynecological related to gynec procedures and different gynec infections and malignancy and all that things. So that is urethrovaginal fistula. Complaints are again same, passage of urine from vagina. So that is urethrovaginal fistula. Investigation part is also same and treatment is also same, that is surgical repair in 2 layers between the urethra and vagina, that is urethrovaginal fistula. Next is ureteric, these are the fistulas related to bladder and urethra. Now next or uncommon variety is uretrovaginal fistula, that is the fistula between ureter and vagina. Again all things are same. This is these fistulas, vesicovaginal, urethrovaginal and ureteric vaginal fistula, all these fistulas are called as genitourinary fistula. These fistulas are related with bladder, urethra, ureter with vagina. So common complaint is passage of urine or drops of urine from vagina. That is the complaint from patient. Causes we had discussed, they are same, congenital and acquired. Congenital present from birth, developmental defect, acquired usually related with obstetrical reason, related delivery cesarean, and gynec is related with gynec procedure and gynecological diseases. Clinical features, depending on the fistula location, patient will complain of the abnormal passage of urine from the vagina. And investigation, we have clinical examination techniques for this fistula and we can see the opening between the organs. And treatment is surgical repair, preventive as well as curative. In preventive we prevent the things to happen and curative is surgical procedure. So these are different types of fistula we had seen. These are common gynecological fistulas.